So I've decided to use the jam chuck method for this project because the backside of this piece of wood is pretty much already finished. And this is a nice alternative if you don't have cold jaws or a long width chuck. And another benefit to using the jam chuck method is I can add these spacers or risers so I don't have any damage to my jam chuck, and it gives me the ability to finish the entire edge of my piece without having to flip the wood. Then all I have to do is find the center of this piece so I can align it with my tailstock, and this will help center it on the lathe. Oh, and by the way, this is a piece of walnut wood, and it is my last piece in the shop, unfortunately, in board form anyway. So I have to run out and get some more at some point. I started out using a round carbide cutter to rough out the edge. And this is probably worth mentioning. I'm applying most of the pressure towards the headstock and not straight forward or towards the tailstock because I don't want to run the risk of the wood slipping off the live center. Then once the edge was mostly rounded out or trued up, I interchangeably switched up a square carbide cutter like you see here with the round carbide cutter, and I also used a 3mm beading tool. Now, I originally tried making patterns on the face of this piece with this Robert Sorby spiral tool, and I just didn't like how it was coming out, so I scratched that, resurfaced the face, and then added a couple of lines, uh, proportionally spaced for a border, which will end up being leaf veins, and you'll see what I'm talking about later. So the next step, I added a photo to the center of the piece. And this is just printed out on photo paper with an inkjet. Although I believe a laser jet would probably be better. And this Mod Podge glue that I used to adhere the photo to the center of the piece, it dries clear, and if you make any mistakes or get anything over the photo, you could just wipe it off with a wet paper towel and a dry paper towel, and it just comes right off, and it won't affect the ink at all. The one thing I really like about making trivets or plaques or some type of decorative wall art, you don't need a router or a router table or any of the multitude of pattern bits out there for routers. You can just stick a piece of wood on your wood lathe and make the edge whatever kind of style or pattern that you want. And here is an oval plaque or wall art, and you can see the different types of edging that I had put on it. It's nice, different pattern. I like how this one came out. And there's another one, different type of edging again, but I had done this one on the router. This was not done on the wood lathe. But I just wanted to show you a couple of options. I've been making several plaques and wall art lately, and they're fun to make, and they're fairly easy, especially if you're working with board planks that are pretty much already planed out. Oh, and another thing I didn't mention or show in this video yet is that at some point, if you are going to hang this on your wall, you have to put something on the back, either a keyhole, which you would need a router for that, or you can use some picture hanging hardware like this one. So all in all, it came out pretty nice. It's not wow, but to me, but I liked where I was going with this, and I could definitely improve on my design. It definitely needed some color that really added to it, and I am by no means a wood burning expert, so most of what I did, other than the leaves in the center, was basically branding. They call it brand burning, or stamping, they sometimes call it. It was nice to add wood burning as a texture and then add color to it. You could have also used some gilt creams or any kind of colored wax on here as well, but I chose to use markers, and they've always held up well. If you can get India ink markers, those are the best. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with it, and I hope you enjoyed this show and got something out of it, and I hope to inspire somebody to make something nice. So I hope you stuck around to the very end. If so, thank you very much. And until next time, stay safe in your shop at all times. Take care. Thank you.